What's up, guys? Spartan Overland again.
Who's that?
Yeah, I know it's been a minute. But today, we're back with some more installs. Daisy, as you know, I'm sure, just competed in the Artemis Rally. Met some really cool people. Got to chatting with one of them.
Tiffany Stone was someone I hung out with during the rally, and I was kind of fangirling on her Jeep. She had some really nice rigid lights. So
And Moxie, I don't know if you know, Moxie's been rocking these bad boys, which are I think they are Nightlight, which is kind of like an Amazon brand, and they were fine, I guess, but if you can tell from the video, they're kind of yellow. Daisy refers to it.
looks like a smoker. I'm living in a smoker house.
Because these are not like amber. They're just like not
Yellow.
clear.
And the reality is, you guys know that we bought Moxie pre-built, and we've been spending time just casually swapping out the previous parts for upgrades and more reliable parts. I have up until this point only done mechanical upgrades, so things that would allow me to perform better on trail or protect the vehicle itself. So we did skids, and we did the shocks, and we did a lot of the steering components. So I definitely didn't prioritize lights, but after seeing Tiffany's and it looked so good, and Jessie said I couldn't have the shocks that she was rocking, I decided to go with the lights.
But so what did we get?
So I was between digging Tiffany's Jeep, and then I was still definitely riding that high from the win at Artemis, and I was in a very celebratory mood.
And we just happened to be in an off-road parts store,
which I previously refused to go into because I knew walking through the doors I was going to leave with something. So this time...
So hold on now. I know you guys on YouTube, you love an unboxing, but I had to pre-game this a little bit, check the wiring. I had to make sure everything fit. So we've already opened this box up. Sorry guys, you don't get that satisfying, tear
It's fine.
open.
If you want that, go buy some.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I got home with these, I needed to open the box and look at it.
So first off, you want to hold the box up for
All
us?
right. So the first thing.
So with this is the rigid 20-inch Radiance Plus SR series. We like these for a few reasons. One, they're super bright. It's very slim. That was
I really wanted a slim line bar. My previous one, it's that double stack, and it's really chunky, kind of clunky, and it set a good 2 inches off of my bumper, and I didn't like that. Just appearances. So I wanted something much slimmer, a little more low-key, just kind of looked like cohesive with the bumper.
And these also have a really neat feature just for when you're parked or you're hanging out, which are these backlights. It's not like some light bars you'll see that have like a white or an amber mode. This is really just for looks, but the back of it will glow a series of colors that you can program, which we'll get into later. But here is... Oh, let's cut to a close up.
Ooh, isn't she pretty?
All right, what else we got?
So we got that for the bumper, and then
So that'll go.
it's gonna
right
go here.
So as you can see, while she's getting the other lights, the brackets for this bumper were a little narrower. So I just quickly fabbed up some brackets for her to extend out to mount. And this is the rigid 360 series, but it's the same deal where you can program these to different backlight colors.
And these are the 6-inch.
guess you a little bit get the unboxing experience.
Yeah, the fabrication was for the bars. These. Giving myself a heart
Wait a
attack.
minute, huh? Oh, yeah.
And I honestly, what made the decision to go with rigid was these pods. I looked at some KCs, I looked at some Pro Comp, and ultimately I just really liked the look of these. It's what it boiled down to. It wasn't necessarily the name or the cool points that are gonna get me. I just like the overall look.
They do look real nice. So which should we do first?
I don't really have a preference. I mean, we're gonna do both, so.
Start at the top and work our way down?
Okay, I feel like these are gonna be harder.
Nah. All right, we're gonna start on the front. This is front passenger. There's a lot of stuff that you may have to do on your own rig, but for us, we don't. We've already got the mounts. There's several options. Jeep has a million options for mounting lights on here, and we've already got the wires run. Now here is the difference. So a lot of pod lights are just 2 wires, just because you're just turning them on and off. That's what's wired up here already, is a power and a ground. Now, if Daisy would be so kind as to bring one of the pod lights over here. Your instruction manual specifies which is which. These lights require 2 separate switches. You'll have power and ground, and that is to activate the light itself. And then separately is a white wire that you will run power and the white wire to one switch, and that activates your backlights. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the brackets in here, we're gonna mount it, I'm gonna solder in the ground and the power, and then separately we're gonna run the wires for a second switch to turn the backlights on. So let's get that going. They have these plastic clips, and these are to hold your nuts. There's a joke there. So you drop the small one in.
How do you know you put it in the right way?
Because the lock washer side, the lock nut side goes on the outside, and the large one. And once you've got these in place, then you clip it into your light. And this holds the nut in place while you put the bracket in. This is easier said than done, especially when you're trying to do it for the camera.
I just don't feel confident about that big one you got there.
All right, so correction. It'll hold the small one. The large one, you're gonna drop it in here.
Not like that either.
So you'll see in here there's a V notch. So you're gonna take the nut with the lock, the rubber side out, drop it in there,
Well, I'll be doing
and it will seat.
Let me try it.
And once you've got this side, you're gonna, and now both of those nuts are seated and being held in place.
See that little spot in there? Right there. Yeah. As long as you didn't turn the nut around. Okay. Right? Yeah.
So So easy and chopped.
Okay, come on. Goes. Okay. Great job. According to the picture, the little swoop goes to the front of the light. Did you catch that? Little swoop.
Yeah. It's an important part. Just the shoot.
Alright, and the big goes with the big, and the little goes with the little.
Yeah, put a washer on there.
Okay. Lord! Butterfingers over here.
So that's going to be an Allen key.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I feel like for what I paid for these lights, it should have come with the appropriate Allen key needed. Alright? IKEA sends Allen keys.
So these are a 5mm and a 5 and a 3.
Something is.
All right. So don't do what we did, which is where
You just put it on upside down.
Not we, I. Where you put it on upside down. So
Okay.
you gotta pay attention. So what you've got in here is the large socket cap screw and a small one. The small one is on a curved slot, and that's what allows you to pivot these up and down. Once you get it to where you want, you'll tighten this one down. Well, tighten them both down, really. Something to be aware of is once this is all tightened down, you won't be able to get your carriage bolt through the bottom. So while this is still loose, you can hinge this back and drop that carriage bolt in there.
So now we've set this on here. You can put it, like my bracket allows quite a bit of play to pick where you want it. I'm just making it flush here. Those are adjustments that can be made later once the lights have been used and we decide what we need out of it. You're gonna use, you'll have a flat washer, a lock washer, and the nut. They will go on in that order: flat, lock, then nut. We're putting it on upside down, so I'm gonna drop it at least twice. Good news, I didn't drop it at all.
The nut won't let you do it. The long thread won't let you do that.
Learned that from Matt.
Now's where I come in. I don't care for crimp-on connectors, so I usually solder everything. So I'm gonna just solder in these wires. This is existing wire from the previous lights. I'm just gonna use it, but it's not marked, so I checked it earlier with the voltmeter and marked it. It's also great soldering where, ow, see, where you don't have much room, you end up grabbing your soldering iron.
Why don't we use like a step stool?
So for these, I'm not going to put heat shrink on this yet, and I'm going to solder them like this because I'm going to have a third green wire coming from the front. All right, so I paused the cameras for a second so I could go over and make sure I fully understood the wiring sequence for the backlighting. So what's going to happen is you need not a three position, but a three-prong switch. They are going to share a ground, so you'll wire your black, which is the top position, to the same ground for the rest of your lights, or for the main LED. The middle position will go to the white wire inside. I'm using a blue one here, but it'll go to the white wire that's inside. It's one of the three in your wire loom. And then red, it will have its own 12-volt power supply. So what'll happen is once you're inside your truck, you'll have one switch for the LEDs, one switch for the backlighting. They can work independently of one another. Got it? All right, let's do it. All right, next we're gonna install the light bar. But first we're gonna check our wiring. We're gonna just double check the wiring, make sure these lights work. I'd say that works.
Okay, so now we just need to put the brackets on the bar. As previously discussed, Jesse did pre-game a little bit because he had to fabricate to make sure I could mount it on the bumper the way that I wanted to. So this part is already assembled, but it's pretty straightforward. Clamp, bolt, washer, nut. We did decide, so usually it mounts with the wing out, but because I wanted as minimal a footprint as possible, we are mounting it with the foot in towards the bar. Like I say, that is not how it normally would work. Alright,
So just sort of slip that nut in there.
has a little pocket.
Cheat a little bit.
And yeah, it has a little seating just like the pods had. You're just gonna put the head of that nut in there. And this thing will cup on this side, so it'll cup around it once you get that in there. It's pretty simple, and the instructions explain it as well. So
Now what?
well, I probably should have put these in there first.
Yes.
So now we loosen it back. Wait, hold on. Yeah, boy. Okay. So we all learn from our mistakes.
So these are little carriage bolts for the bracket that I made.
So again, like I said, Jesse fabricated some new brackets because where my mounting points are here and the bars where it would mount were about 2.5 inches outside of that. So he just took some metal and we did some measurements. He just made it cup over there, and this is bolted to the actual bracket from the mounting point for the bumper, and now it creates the mounting point that I actually need for the light bar.
So hold that
We don't need
carriage bolt
washers?
down with that. Yes.
Look at you.
I told myself to get washers.
Yourself didn't listen very well.
No.
I experienced that with yourself a lot too.
Oh, okay.
Just so I'm clear, the carriage bolt and nut you went and obtained because of the brackets you created.
Yeah, these were things I already
Not
had.
hardware that was provided by Rigid. This was something we obtained to accommodate what we needed it to do.
So what I'll do is I'm going to get this mostly tight, and then we will make sure that the positioning is where we want it before I tighten it down. This is the advantage of, oh, this thing has bolts that I'm not going to use. I'll throw these in the bin instead of throw them in the trash. The bin as in my tool bin, not the bin as in trash if you're in England.
Do you think people in England watch our videos?
If you're in England and you're watching our videos, let me know. I would love to find out.
Because we will not stop bragging about that.
Yeah. We're international, baby! Alright, so
Alright,
what
so
I think...
I want it all the way forward, but then this...
Yeah, and then center, there's two lights in the center.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
It
we
has
use
a
the
little
W
bit
to help us. Okay. I think it's fairly centered.
Alright.
She's on.
Looks good to me.
She does look good. Look how close it is. It's so nice.
So now what I've got is I've got everything, you know, loosely run here. I'm gonna solder it up, heat shrink it, and then we're gonna do the real hard task of hiding wires. So we'll see you in a minute. So I think now we need to see how bright these things are, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure something out.
You gotta get the truck out of the way, and I can back up in the road and we'll just
Yeah.
point her down the road and turn them on.
Okay.
I mean, there's street lights out there, but I don't think you're gonna notice those.
First, turn the glows on. Yeah, those look cool. All right. So obviously we don't have like perfect darkness, but here's our street. You can see it's pretty dark. There's some street lights pretty far down there. But what if it was daytime? Holy crap.
Holy shit.
And the headlights are off completely right
there
now.
is no headlight on right now.
And these are all pointed forward. We're not even like spreading them out. So we didn't talk about how you change the colors of these lights. How's it
Like
work?
a Nintendo cheat code.
How's it work?
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
Basically.
And each cycle, the paper made it sound like it would cycle through the lights once you start, up, down, up, down, up, down, you would start the cycle. But really, that was just changing each light. So, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then it starts with blue. And then if you don't want blue, you do it again, and it goes to red. And I think amber was the third or fourth time. You just...
And then once you leave it there, once you get the one you like, you leave it on for a second, and that stores
And after that,
it.
it's just power on and off like normal, and it'll be your color.
What do you think?
I love it. I think it looks awesome. Look how cool she looks. It's all cohesive. It looks great. It really looks great. I love it. Really. Cool.